Supercar Challenge season opener continues. Welcome back everyone to Zandvoort. My name is Chris McCarthy. The start of our season in the Supercar Challenge. We begin at Zandvoort before trips to Zolder, Assen. We've got a trip to Spa coming up later in the season as well. Here's a look at it in full. We start here. First round is 7 at Zandvoort, then Spa, Zolder, Assen, Hockenheim back on the calendar. Back to Zandvoort in October with a trip followed up by that at Assen to conclude the season after 7 rounds of racing. Here's the circuit for you. The Zandvoort circuit is one of the most trickiest ones to take on in Europe, particularly in this category. No room for error at all, huge amounts of elevation, but that gives it an enjoyment for the drivers and the fans and a slight uniqueness to other circuits around Europe. If you're with us for race 1, you'll see it's a lot brighter now for race 2. The cars are just lining up, getting ready to go, and down with them is René.
En inderdaad, de zon is hier in Zandvoort doorgebroken. Een heerlijke zaterdagmiddag. En wat kunnen we dan beter doen dan genieten van autosport. Prachtige autosport hier in de Supercar Challenge. Naast mij de nieuwe Head of Motorsport van circuit Zandvoort, Jelle Koeten. Jelle, als je dit zo ziet, een prachtige grid. Start van het seizoen, voorjaarsraces. Wat voor gevoel gaat er dan door je heen?
Ja, dit is heerlijk. Als je het enthousiasme ziet van alle rijders, alle teams en de bezoekers die we vandaag al mogen verwelkomen, dat is heerlijk. Er staat zo meteen weer een race op ons te wachten. We moeten opzij stappen voor de auto's die hier op de startgrid aankomen. Maar ja, heerlijk, zeker in dit zonnetje.
Je bent nieuw hier op circuit Zandvoort, niet nieuw in de autosport, al jarenlang ervaring. Voorheen met een eigen team, samen met jouw broer Bas Koeten, nu in een andere rol. Vertel daar iets meer over.
Ja, dit is natuurlijk een benadering 180 graden vanaf de andere kant. Inderdaad, altijd betrokken geweest. 15 jaar als fulltimer in de motorsport gewerkt als teammanager. Dus de locaties, de teams, de rijders en de organisatoren ken ik heel goed. En de benadering vanaf de kant van het circuit is 180 graden de andere kant op. Maar die ervaring helpt me absoluut.
Je ziet nieuwe initiatieven die worden ontplooid. Natuurlijk Max Praams als nieuwe directeur en eigenaar van V-Max. Mooie evenementen hier. Combinatie ook met Supercars morgen, de 102 events. Hoe kijk je daarnaar?
Ja, het is fantastisch wat Max neerzet. Respect voor het platform wat hij wil bieden aan rijders. Niet alleen dit jaar, maar ook met zijn toekomstplannen. Het is een meerjarenplan en dat moeten wij faciliteren. Zijn ambities zijn hoog en dat waardeer ik. Ik ken Max vanuit zijn verschillende rollen die hij in het verleden gehad heeft. Dus ik weet dat zijn ervaring heel ruim is. En hij kan daarmee heel oog gaan gooien. En dit weekend is daar een voorbeeld van. Ook in die samenwerking met Supercar Madness, wat we morgen gaan krijgen.
En zeker ook een teken dat de nationale autosport leeft.
Zeker, dat is absoluut waar. En natuurlijk is er ruimte voor groei, de behoefte is er ook. Maar met een nieuwe kapitein aan het roer van V-Max denk ik dat we daarin gaan slagen. En van mijn kant, vanaf het circuit, ga ik daar een steentje aan bijdragen. Dus absoluut.
Goed, wij gaan de startopstelling verlaten. We gaan zo meteen beginnen aan de vliegende opwarmronde hier voor de tweede race van de Supercar Challenge. I'll do a quick summary in English as well. We spoke with Jelle Koeten, who is the newly appointed head of motorsport at circuit Zandvoort. He took over from Eric Weyers, who will be in charge until September, so he will still oversee the final edition of the Dutch Formula 1 Grand Prix. But Jelle Koeten then taken over as head of motorsport at Zandvoort, and he showed his enthusiasm and his gratefulness to what Max Brahms has achieved with his V-Max organization, with the Supercar Challenge season opener here this weekend at Zandvoort, also in combination with the Supercar Madness coming up tomorrow, and demonstrating that national motorsport is very much alive in the Netherlands. Supercar Challenge, Mazda MX-5 Cup and all the other support series we have here over the weekend. We're getting ready for the second race in the Supercar Challenge of this beautiful Saturday. The sun has come out at Zandvoort and we're going to watch some thrilling action. Over to the colleagues in the commentary booth.
Thank you, René. Good to hear from the team at Zandvoort there. The Dutch Grand Prix will be 23rd of August, and it's always a very unique atmosphere, particularly in that stadium-like section we have coming down to turns 11 and 12. But 26 cars taking part in this, just like earlier. They are lined up on the grid now, ready to go. Let's go through the grid for you then. It's Marlon Birdsall who's going to be on row 1 along with Harry Barton. Row 2 will be Dan Meyer, and alongside him Gilles Van Houten. And then we have Ted Fleet on row 3. Alongside that is Cor Oyzer. Next along, Mitchell Dyke and Thijs Wesseling are going to be on row 4. And then next along, we have Ruud Olij and Valentin Grevin, row 5. Dennis de Bos is on row 6, along with Oscar Greiper. Berry Elk is on row 7 with Eric Munkhoff. And then we have next along, after that, just outside the top 10, 15th place will be Daf Steenis. And then we have Patrick Piet, Fabian Schoonhoven, plus Miguel on row 9. That is the first part of the grid for you. Then it is Martin Baggermans, Emil Drummond, Rob Neiman is next along with Chris Vogt, and then Norbert Decker, Richard Blom, Christian Dijkhoff, and next along is Ivar Moons. So that is your grid in full. We go through the categories. It's the first 3 rows. You can see our GT categories, and then they have the orange background to their numbers. Supersport Plus is the green background to their numbers. Leading that class is Thijs Wesseling. Dennis de Borst is leading the Super Sports category, which is the blue background, and then we have the purple background to the sports category cars, and leading that is Martin Baggermans. In terms of what happened earlier, this is the second of 2 sprint races this weekend. So this grid was formed by the second qualifying session we had this morning. The second drivers are out, not in the case of Marlon Bertel, Harry Barton, Dan Meyer. They're competing in all races, but for some teams with 2 drivers, they have now swapped over for this race, and this grid is set by the second qualifying session from earlier. Marlon Bertel took the win earlier on ahead of Dan Meyer and Harry Barton, who were split by just 2.5 tenths coming over the line. Both received 10-second penalties for starting grid procedure infringement. Ruud Olij was the winning Super Sports Plus driver. Then Lorenzo Van Riet was the Super Sport winner in the 307, and then the 503, Martin Baggermans was your sports class winner. There was a great battle in Super Sport 1 with Lorenzo Van Riet, Tom Drummond. They were just half a second apart coming across the line. Could have easily been a 3-way battle for the win between Berzel, Meyer and Barton. All 3 look likely to be winners, championship contenders throughout the season. Wouldn't be surprised if it's those 3 again on the podium, albeit in a different order. But watch for Alan Berg as well in his Radical. You can see him along there. Mitchell Van Dijk, sorry, in the Radical is going to be next along. See how Mitchell Van Dijk can get on. It was Alan Berg earlier. Here's Mitchell Van Dijk is now in the car, so we'll see how he gets on. Okay, round the final corner, it's going to be a 30-minute sprint race, rolling start. The pace will hand over to Marlon Bertel and Harry Barton. Marlon will be to the left of your screen as we look at it now, and to the right is Harry Barton. 30 minutes sprint racing, lights to flag stuff. It's hugely entertaining as we get ready to go for race 2, round 1 here at Zandvoort. You can see Bertel to the left, Barton is to the right, and we'll go for the second race of the weekend in the first round of the season in the Supercar Challenge here at Zandvoort. Down towards Tarzan Corner, Bertel hanging on ahead of Barton there. The 2 were side by side coming through Tarzan last time, and they are once again this time as they now come down through turn 2. Barton trying to go around the outside there of Bertel and now heads to the inside coming through Hugenholtz Corner. Dan Meyer had a couple of spins there earlier, so we'll be hoping for a cleaner run of things this time. There is Cor Oyzer, who is just trying to make his way up the grid. Did not finish the race earlier, so has a lot of work to do in this one. Now down through turn 7, where someone's dropped some fluid on the circuit, it seems. And that would have been from perhaps the previous race we just seen, so you can see the reconstruction work done there as side-by-side action going on here. The green car, Mercedes of Patrick Rutscholten, took a spin earlier on. in the first lap, but through with no problems this time. There, the white crash helmet now of Mitchell van Dijk trying to make his way up the order. It is Birdsall who leads the way ahead of Barton. Dan Mayer will be a little bit disappointed with how things have started. There's Cor Oyser, and next behind him is Mitchell van Dijk. So this your fight for 6th place on the road, but nice and clean start up and down the field. No yellow flags appear to have come around, so no notes on race control as well in terms of how things went on the starting grid. So that is good. We are going to see lights to flag stuff here, and round 2 perhaps from Harry Barton and Dan Mayer, but currently they are split by Gilles van Houten, who is next along. Around the first corner now for the second time at full racing speed we go. Lots of battles going on here throughout the super sport categories and then the sport categories. We've got our overall GT3 class. The super sport categories made up of GT4s and TCR cars, as you can see on your screen. Oh, that was a big moment there from one of the super sport drivers coming through down through the Hugenholtz corner. Just managed to save that. In fact, that might have been, I think that might have been Eric van der Mukoff, who that was, or Mike Barton, rather, looked like Barton, who is now in the car for this race, having a bit of a moment there, but managing to rescue it into turn 8. Some nice overtaking there, but those different category drivers, you can see the sport category car of Martin Bagermans, the Renault Clio, who was superb in the first race, really controlling the race. In fact, that's Rob Neiman, rather, just there. Bagermans a little bit further up the road, just goes through our shot now, and really ran away with things earlier. Be looking to do something similar in this race. Bagermans in the 502 on your screen there. Cor Oyser is trying to make a move now down the inside towards turn 1. It is past Mitchell van Dijk in his Radical, the only Radical we have out there racing, but that does not stop them from competing with the others. There's been some good performances from Alain Berg and Mitchell van Dijk throughout the weekend, and I'm sure those will continue. Out front though, speaking of good performances, Birdsall is away. Whoa, around the outside there goes Mitchell van Dijk, and is shown politely to the edge of the circuit there from the very experienced Cor Oyser, who's been at this a long time now with lots of success. So no surprise to see Cor Oyser was having absolutely none of that in terms of losing a position. Up the hill into turn 8. This battle feels like it's just the first of 12 rounds, doesn't it? As there we go. The next one is made. Mitchell van Dijk going by Oyser. And that's once again a change for position back for P5. What it is doing though is dropping them back from the rest of the lead pack. Birdsall has a 3-second advantage over Barton, who spoke to Rene after the race and wasn't too happy with the performance in the car. Felt some changes they made didn't quite work out, but now it is completely different conditions. It was wet earlier, it's dry now, similar to what we've had in practice. So let's see how the drivers readapt to these dry conditions. What might feel, I'll get there eventually, might feel quite a green circuit due to the rain we've had earlier. Round the last 2 corners, that fantastic livery we can see on Van Elk, the Blueberry Racing Team car. Just going to the inside now is Van Elk in the 273. This would be for 12th place overall. Can he make the move into turn 1? Not quite. Has to back out of it in the end. Now heading up through this next section of the circuit. Van Elk and Oscar Greper fighting away with each other. These two competing in different classes. Greper is in Supersport 1, Van Elk Supersport Plus, so will want to get by pretty quickly here if he can. Just see what that curb on the inside does through turn 6. Who do we have in the pit? It's Dan Mayer. Dan Mayer has come into the pit lane. Well, he's not had the best of fortunes at times today, and did report to Rene after the first race earlier, where he did hang on to second place, but reported that he was struggling with a throttle sensor issue, I believe it was. So Mayer, I think that issue may have creeped up again and got slightly worse, because he is now in pit lane. Can't confirm that's what the case is, but there didn't appear to be much damage on his car, and we haven't seen him go off. So I'm going to assume it's a bit more of a mechanical issue going on there. A shame, but these are the sprint races where it is half points. We have the full points 60-minute race tomorrow to conclude the action here at Zandvoort this weekend. That will be at 10 past 5 local time. That will include pit stops as well, so both drivers will be taking part, and will involve down pit lane to mix things up. This race, I can tell you now, if you didn't watch earlier, will get mixed up pretty quickly, because the GT drivers, their lap times considerably faster than the sport drivers, up to 20 seconds a lap faster. So they will find themselves catching the sport drivers before you know it. And that's where the races get pretty interesting, because it's trying to get by the traffic and not lose too much time. If you're, say, Barton, you can make time up very quickly when we get to that part of the race. Checking in with another battle now. This looks like De Borst. We are watching. Coming into turn 10, there comes a move down the inside, and that looks like the BMW car just getting through. So good move there from Roger Delouve, I think that is, or De Vriend rather, who's taken over for this race in the 235 Koopman Racing car. Down the hill they go, and well, we've had a car in the pit lane. Rene is down for us in pit lane. I wonder if we'll hear the answers to that question now. Let's go and join.
Dan Meijer, pitstops hebben we normaal gesproken alleen in de lange races van de Supercar Challenge en niet in de sprint. Wat is er gebeurd?
Nou, we hebben eigenlijk de hele dag al een beetje last. Vanmorgen met de kwalificatie, dan loopt hij op 7, 8 cilinders. We hebben het de laatste wedstrijd ook gehad, de eerste wedstrijd van dit jaar. Maar toen was de regenrace, dus toen had ik al continu 50, 60 pk tekort. Maar die hebt het net de start gezien, ik was meteen die jongens kwijt. En hij begon meteen weer op 6 of 7 cilinders te lopen. We hebben bobines vervangen, bougies vervangen, maar niet alles. Ja, dat zit ergens iets niet goed. Hoe dat nou kan, dat is niet te vinden, maar goed. Alles uitgelezen. Net na de eerste wedstrijd hebben we gewisseld. Toen liep hij echt mooi op 8 cilinders. En nu meteen bij de start, nou je zag het, ik was meteen iedereen kwijt. Loopt hij op 6, 7, weet ik veel. Ik heb nog 2, 3 rondjes geprobeerd, maar ja, ik hoef het je niet uit te leggen. En punt 1 ga je alles lopen en dat is niet leuk. Nee, dus we hebben deze opgegeven. Ja.
Morgen nieuwe ronde, nieuwe kansen.
Een nieuwe ronde, ja zeker. We zijn er weer.
Hartstikke goed, dankjewel. So Dan Meijer said he was having troubles all day long. The car was not running properly. It was running on 6 or 7 cylinders instead of the regular 8. And they tried everything on the car. They changed the spark plugs and they changed many other things, but still didn't really find the problem. I said in the opening race today it was not too much of a problem, because in the rain or on a damp track it was not so much of a problem to have 50 horsepower less compared to the competition. But in dry conditions like we have now, obviously there was no point at all, and he lost a lot of ground already right after the start. So he said, okay, the most sensible decision was to bring it back into the pits and give the team the opportunity to get it fixed for tomorrow's race.
A shame that for Dan Meijer, who has had to retire from the race, losing 50 horsepower, quite considerable. And it did look like off the start, I saw Mitchell van Dijk make quite a sharp adjustment as he came over the line. And I think that was a backup of Van Vliet trying to get past slowing Dan Meijer, who just could not get up to the speed that was set by Birdsall and Barton quickly enough. So it was definitely noticeable off the line. Now I think back to it. This is one of our battles for top 10 positions going on here. Thijs Wesseling, whilst that interview was going on, has now gone past De Borst for 9th. This is De Borst in that 301 car, and Van Elk is just behind. So that's a great battle going on for 9th, 10th and 11th, and it includes De Borst, who is our Supersport leader, and Oscar Greper is with that battle as well. He's only 1 second behind, and he's second in the Supersport category. Keep an eye on how things go there. Sport 1 leader still Martin Bagemans. We're watching second, which is Rob Neiman, who is about 7 seconds back from Bagemans. So far Bagemans is controlling things. Clean race so far. Let's just go through the top 3 in each category. Bertel, Barton and Van Houten are just coming over the line now. They're separated, let's see, 7.5 seconds back is Barton, 13.5 seconds back is Van Houten. So they're very close together there on screen. We're side by side, are we, into turn 11? Yes, we are, and that is once again the 301 car of De Borst fighting away with Van Elk. Great fighting going on between these two as they head round now the banking. But just going back to that Supersport Plus, it's Ruud Olij, Valentin Graven, Wesseling, and then this battle here. De Borst is just leading Supersport 1 ahead of Oscar Greper. So this is our closest fight on track for the lead in any of the classes, and it's once again Supersport 1 who's providing it. So De Borst ahead of Oscar Greper, round turn 1. You can see De Borst in that bright yellow livery, and in the red and black livery is Oscar Greper behind as they head through Hugenholtz corner now. Looking at the results earlier, it was Van Riet who won this category ahead of Tom Drummond. Van Riet in the 307, so Oscar Greper has taken over the car from Van Riet and is hoping to make it 2 wins today. Here's a look back at the Radical, which is Mitchell van Dijk, who is actually not far away from an overall podium here. There's Van Houten just up the road. That's one of the other categories, so he'll go around that car. But Van Houten, has he even got past? Let's have a look as they come over the line. Yes, he has, so that is a change for 3rd position, but will it be for long? This is for 3rd overall. Houten trying to get down the outside there in the white and red livery, but Van Dijk, you can see where the cars are better in performing. That Radical just goes through the corners, is so nippy through there, and then down the straights the GTs can really open up and start to close down. So I think through this section now we might see 4th Van Houten start to close back through. Van Dijk has got some pressure as well. Very bravely there, coming through turn 6 to be able to hit it down. So change for 3rd place on the road. The overall podium positions have changed. De Borst is just coming over the line now, just seeing where he is in comparison to Greper. There's been a lead change in Super Sport as well. It looks like Oscar Greper has gone by Dennis De Borst, so a change between those two on track as well, while we were seeing that battle for 3rd place overall. Down the hill now, up through, you can see just how close you have to get to the grass and the gravel. It's a very old school circuit, this one. You see some more modern day circuits now give you plenty of opportunity for error. Lots of runoff areas, huge runoff zones, exit curbs, and curves in the middle of the circuit as well. Lots of tarmac areas, but this is one of the most old school circuits if we're talking, say, Formula 1 on the Formula 1 calendar. It is one of the reason why a lot of the drivers love coming here, because it is that roller coaster feeling, that no margin for error feeling, and it makes really enjoyable stuff. It can be a rewarding circuit if you are to push everything to the limit, and if you're not to do so, then you could be paying the price for it. Here's De Borst. We did say there was a change in Super Sport. There is the leader now ahead of Oscar Graper. So that's a change there. De Boerst will be hoping to get back up. Dennis in the car now. Steph was in the car earlier today. Second would still be a very good result for De Boerst, though. Down across the start-finish line now. Steph De Boerst actually took a spin coming through between turns 7 and 8. So this would be a good recovery result from Dennis. Steph De Boerst at that time was going along very well. Okay, back to this radical. Mitchell van Dijk, who at times has been stealing the show really today. Really enjoyable car to watch. Has gone by Gilles van Houten. He's now trying to close down Harry Barton. We've got Marlon Birdsall there as well. Through picture, there is Marlon Birdsall. There's one of the sport cars behind, which looks to be Rob Neiman. Quite a recognisable livery, that one. And round now. And is this Marlon Birdsall coming into the pits? It is. Marlon Birdsall, you can see on the left of screen, has dropped down the order. Do we have damage to the leader? Marlon Birdsall, who's come into the pit lane, was slowing down coming around the final corner. And that means Harry Barton is now our race leader, but only by 9/10 of a second ahead of Mitchell van Dijk. They don't look in any rush to get that car back out, do they? So there must be something reported by Marlon Birdsall, because it doesn't look like there's been any damage to that car from its exterior, but I'm sure looking beneath it there is damage. Okay, this is now our fight for the lead. Harry Barton in the white BMW defends to the inside. Mitchell van Dijk going to the outside and is going to continue that run round the outside, going all the way to the edge of the track and more. And we have a change of lead. The radical Mitchell van Dijk now leads this race ahead of Harry Barton. That car is absolutely flying. You can just see him scan in the mirrors there just to see how much of a gap he has to Barton. Does he need to defend? Absolutely not. And it will be all eyes forward now for Van Dijk. Over to you then, Harry Barton, to see, can you respond to this pace that is currently being set by Mitchell van Dijk? We did say he's somewhat stealing the show. He most certainly is now. He is leading the race here. Gilles van Houten is now in the podium places as well. Goes back to being in the podium, having lost it because of that orange radical, is P3. This is where Barton will catch up though. Down the start-finish straight, looks to the outside of leader Van Dijk. In the pit lane, Marlon Birdsall is losing a lot of time now, and it would just be an extended test session if he can get back out there, try and finish the race if possible, and see if he can fix those issues before we go out for free practice 2 tomorrow morning. So if there is something wrong with the car, then it could be resolved in that free practice session. Meanwhile, back to the leaders here. This would be a great result for Harry Barton, first or second, I'd say, because both the two other drivers who joined him on the podium last time, Dan Meyer, out the race, is retired in pit lane, and also Marlon Birdsall could be about to join that list of retirements as well. So the two retirements would be our two drivers out on the podium. Whoa, looking to the inside, there is Van Elk making a move on Thijs Vesseling, that looks to be, and it is for 8th place overall. So Van Elk getting through, but only just. That was a great move down the inside, and you can see the car moving under braking as Van Elk was asking a lot of it, but in the end, Van Elk able to complete that move. So change for P8. Greven up the road could make it a change for P7 very soon, because they are catching Greven in the 226. Okay, it looks like the 301 car. Dennis De Boerst has come into pit lane as well. Oh dear. Well, Dennis De Boerst, that's a real shame for De Boerst, having been going very well in this race. They dropped back in the second race after a spin for Steph De Boerst, and now similar thing sadly going on here. Yellow flag coming out at turn 1. We'll see what that is about very shortly, but this could be a change of position between Barry Van Elk and looks like Grevin is now the car just ahead. Down over the curbs, you can see Thijs Vesseling in the background as well, fighting over positions here as they head up to the final 2 corners. There's still a yellow at turn 1 being reported on the timing screen. We'll see what that is about very shortly, but no, race control haven't felt the need to go any further than just a yellow. We're about to find out. Yes, someone got lost at turn 1 and has now found their way back. Oh no, it's the green Mercedes of Patrick Roetschuten, who spun on the opening lap of the race last time, and this time has joined the list of drivers who has gone around that incredibly punishing escape road. It takes quite a while to get around there. And that car isn't traveling very well at all. I think that could be this could be a trip back to the pit lane for the Mercedes now. Meanwhile, this is the battle coming through between Van Elk and Grevin. This for second in the Supersport Plus category. Ruud Olij is about 7 seconds up the road, so with 7 minutes left, you feel this is Van Elk's chance to get one more position and goes down the inside into turn 8. Can he do so again into turn 9? Also right there behind is Thijs Vesseling, and that is move complete from Van Elk. Gets through into second in the category, or does he? We're going to be 3 wide, but one of the sport cars just holding up Grevin on the inside there, and that now means Thijs Vesseling will help himself to third place. No, will not. Gets it all out of shape coming out of the corner, was just way too impatient, way too eager to get on the throttle, and punished for it was Thijs Vesseling. But this is a great little fight going on between second, third and fourth in the category, and now a similar mistake being made by Van Elk. The tyres really starting to go away from the drivers, and the pressure really is getting to them out there. All Grevin needs to do is just stay in the mirrors of Van Elk, and that should lead to more mistakes like we've just seen. But any one of these 3 drivers could be the 2 drivers remaining on that Supersport Plus podium. Right, let's get another update from Rene down in pit lane.
Maar ja, dat hoort ook bij de autosport. En we hebben een storing met de auto van Meijer. En die blijft, zo gauw die op temperatuur komt, komt hij weer terug. En we kunnen hem nog even niet vangen. Dus morgenochtend met een vrije training zullen we zorgen dat alle auto's weer, alle tweede weer op de baan staan. En ja, helaas.
Maar goed, gelukkig in de sprintrace en niet in de lange.
Wat zeg je?
Gelukkig in de sprintrace en niet in de lange.
Nee, absoluut ook dat. Maar het is in ieder geval wel balen. Want normaliter hebben we gewoon altijd 100% scoren van betrouwbaarheid. Dus, maar ja, ook dit hoort bij de eerste seizoensopener. Dus we tackelen het wel. We komen sterker terug.
Heel goed.
Dankjewel. Okay.
Han Koopman, the team owner of Koopman Racing, said normally the BMWs are really known for their excellent reliability. But today there was a bit of an issue with Marlon Bertel's car. There was a problem with the clutch. It's a brand new car, and he said was really surprised that the clutch broke, and we had an issue there, so it needs to be fixed. And on Dan Meyer's car, as we heard from Dan Meyer himself before, he has been having trouble all day long. Heinz said, thankfully, it's only in the sprint race on Saturday, and we still have plenty of time this afternoon and this evening to solve the problems for tomorrow. And missing out on points is obviously bad, but it's one of the things that happens during the season opener. And it's better to have it now in the sprint race rather than in the long race tomorrow when there are more points at stake.
Thank you, Rene. Great updates down in pit lane. Well, a shame. Both Marlon Bertel, Dan Meyer out of the race. And as I mentioned already, that's a huge opportunity for Barton. Here we can see the 236 car trying to make some places and heading around the outside there. We've got such great fights going on up and down the order. As Thijs Vesseling involved in this battle, which has been raging on for a while. Grevin in the 226 just goes through, and that will be third place in category in Supersport Plus. Van Elk is next along, but is now 1 second clear of these two who decided to get in their own little fight. And then Rudolai is way clear from the field, but you feel this one is going to go to the checkered flag. There's Van Elk once again trying to make a move. Now round turn 10 and down to turn 11, just looking to see if there's any other cars out there which are in really close battles, although the team at the track are reporting that Harry Barton's car seems to sound a little unhealthy now, so let's see if Harry Barton can get to the line. It's a case of just wanting to get to the flag. Harry Barton, although second on the road, will be the GT class winner, and that will be quite significant for him. It will be seen as a win by him, I'm sure, even if it's not on the road. Vesseling, you can see, just skips over to the outside of the circuit. He's got ahead of him Grevin in those classic BMW colours, and Grevin is just ahead of Vesseling. These two have been at it pretty much all race. The race has gone by very quickly, I have to say. It's only 2.5 minutes, just over that to go. Whoa, Vesseling nearly spins coming out of Hugenholtz corner. The rear end really getting away from him. Just see how much the drivers are having to hang on to these cars around what is a hugely demanding circuit. And when the tyres start to go off, that amplifies in terms of how much it takes. And one mistake from either of these, and the other driver will be ready to pounce. Barton is losing quite a lot of time from Van Dijk here, so I wonder if he is now just trying to get it home to the line, limping home in this race. We are watching the battle between 8th and 9th. Grevin, Vesseling, who are trying to fight for the last step on the Supersport Plus podium into turn 11. Will we see Vesseling make a move? No, stays where he is for the time being. Vesseling, Grevin just ahead. Van Elk, you can see going through in quite significant. You can see quite a unique livery he has on his car, so quite easy to identify is Van Elk. Rudolai well clear from these guys. We're into the final laps now. Vesseling, his time to get by Grevin is starting to run out. Are the class leaders? Oscar Greper, we saw him take the lead in that category earlier, and Greper is just coming through the back section of the circuit, it seems at the moment. He is leading Supersport 1. Bagermans is leading Supersport, leading the sport category rather, by 25 seconds. And Supersport 1 by Greper is being led pretty comfortably now. So it's just a case of staying out of trouble and bringing it home. This is our main focus, I'd say. Closest battle, not only on the track, but in terms of its significance to podium places as well. We could see a change for step 3 on the podium between Grevin and Vesseling. Van Dijk has come over the line, as has Barton, to start what could be the final lap of the race. These two are going to get at least one more. Out of turn 10 down to turn 11. Vesseling just has to stay within arm's length of Grevin here. That could force Valentin Grevin into a mistake. Great noise coming from the cars, isn't there? You can hear a lot coming out of those tyres as they break down into turn 11. Same predicted from our race leader. Here he is, Mitchell Van Dijk. What a performance it has been from this radical. Alan Berg showed its potential in qualifying and in the race, and now Mitchell Van Dijk is going to show full potential, and he's going to take it to the checkered flag. Mitchell Van Dijk comes across the line now and takes the win of race 2 here at Zandvoort in the Supercar Challenge season opener. Harry Barton will be next over the line now. Here he is in that white BMW, does get it home, and does take the win in the ET category, along with second place overall. Van Houten now crosses the line and will finish third place to round out the podium. Cor Oyser retired earlier and will be fourth in the overall standings and third in the GT stand as well. So a great recovery from him. Oscar Gleiper has now come over to take the checkered flag and win Supersport 1. Martin Bagermans, we await to see him over the line. What about that battle between Greven and Van Elk and Wesseling? It looks like Greven has just established a 1.1 second gap now over Thijs Wesseling. That should be enough to see him home. You can see Nicolas Piquel heading through your picture there, one of the several Koopman Racing entries for this one. Don't see much of Piquel in this race, but Nicolas Piquel will finish 16th overall as he comes around the final corner. Martin Bagermans is not far away from the checkered flag now, nor is Ruud Olij. Ruud Olij is about to take the checkered flag and does so now, so well done to Supersport Plus winner there, Ruud Olij, who did follow through that last section of the circuit to take the win in Supersport Plus. And now coming over the line, Martin Bagermans, we can see in that queue of cars. Martin Bagermans wins the sport class. That is all for race 2. Some big retirements in that one. Marlon Birdsell, Dan Meyer, both retiring from the race with mechanical issues, and that opened the door when that happened, and stepping through it by some margin was Mitchell Van Dijk there, who comes across the line to take the win. Alan Berg would be very pleased with that, his teammate as well. Harry Barton wins GT, but second on overall. Van Houten was third place. Oyser, we had Fleet, fifth place. Ruud Olij finished just in sixth, wins Supersport Plus. We had Van Elk, Greven, Wesseling. They had a great battle, those guys. Oscar Greiper did have a good fight in the earlier stages with the likes of De Borst, who then dropped down the field. De Borst after a trip through the pits. Oscar Greiper taking advantage, taking the win. Ivan Weeks was in 11th, then moved off. Schoonhoven, De Borst, sports class winner Martin Bagermans as well was in 17th overall. Celebrations now going on. You can see Michel van Dijk will be very pleased with that one, taking that radical to the very top step of the podium, and it looked very impressive coming through the circuit. Just down the straight is where Harry Barton was going back past Mitchell van Dijk, but after that Mitchell van Dijk taking such good speed through the corners, and you can see what it means to both drivers. A win straight away here at the first round in race 2, and they'll be ones to watch for tomorrow. No reason they can't go and do that again tomorrow. Marlon Birdsell, Dan Meyer will have something to say about that, and now we're going to hear from Mitchell van Dijk with René.
Mitchell van Dijk, proficiat. Eerste overwinning met de Radical. Hier tussen al dat dikke BMW GT-geweld. Met een Radical hier winnen. Hoe is dat?
Ja, dank u wel. Dat is super gaaf. Natuurlijk is het een compleet andere auto. Daarom zit ik ook in een ander veld. Maar om overal te winnen is nog steeds echt een mega prestatie. Ik heb natuurlijk de helft van de pk, maar het is natuurlijk ook een stuk lichter. Maar dat is natuurlijk nog steeds mega gaaf om hier te winnen. Dus ja, het is eigenlijk wel nog een droom voor mij geweest. Ik heb het een andere keer in een Radical gedaan. Het is de tweede keer, maar echt een mega ervaring dit. Ook een mooie battle met Cor gehad. En ook een soort GT-prototype. En ja, echt mega deze race. Ik heb alles gegeven.
Hoe lastig was het om de concentratie te houden?
Ja, op een gegeven moment werd ik wel lichtelijk moe. Dan wordt het natuurlijk lastiger om constant dezelfde tijd te rijden. Maar ik heb het redelijk volgehouden. De banden bleven nog wel goed. Dus ik heb gewoon met constantie deze race gewonnen. In het begin zag u, ik kon het niet helemaal bijhouden aan het begin. Maar ik heb het toch eindelijk door de hele race teruggepakt.
Had je ooit gedacht dat je vandaag hier als winnaar op de bovenste trede zo meteen van het podium zou staan?
Ik had het wel gehoopt natuurlijk. Ik had de dag top 3, dat zou wel mogelijk moeten zijn. Maar ja, P1 is natuurlijk altijd het beste, daar gaan we altijd voor.
Hartstikke goed. Geniet ervan, dankjewel. Mitchell van Dijk.
Good to hear from Mitchell van Dijk speaking there with René, taking the win in this second race, this second sprint race. Tomorrow there will be more action from Supercar Challenge. They'll have free practice, qualifying and race 3. Let's go back then down to Rene, who is...
Harry Barton, second race of the day, second podium finish for you. Tell us about it, please.
Well, like I said before, I was hoping to kind of build on the P3, which I think I did very nicely. I have to say it's hard luck for Marlon. He was doing a really fantastic job. I was trying to get him into T1 and through turn 3, which was interesting. But yeah, he was really, really quick. I was planning on trying to get him when he was going through traffic because I could see, okay, he's getting held up. But sadly, he had a problem. I think the lightness of the Radical went out today. It'll be interesting to see how that changes depending on track, because through the twisty section he was so fast. It was really cool to see. Then obviously in other places the M6's power kind of overcame that. But yeah, it was a really, really nice race. It was great fun, especially in the sunshine that's now presented itself.
But Marlon and Harry had some issues with their cars. Did you have any particular problems? Or?
No, then similar ones to everyone else, which is no rear grip. But no, luckily the car ran faultlessly. I mean, the Koopman do a very fantastic job at M6s, as you can see. There's so many here, but yeah, the car was faultless.
Sprint races is one thing. Tomorrow is the long one. How are you going to approach that in terms of strategy?
Well, I'm more akin to endurance races rather than sprint races. The hour gives me time to settle into the car. I've done 8-hour endurance races before, so a single hour is actually still quite short for me. But it will be good to race these other guys and have the longevity of the race to try and wear some people down and try and work up a bit more and try and get towards the front a bit more.
Okay, but first of all, enjoy the podium ceremonies. And we're going to search for the third place driver. We zoeken de rijder op de derde plaats en dat is Gilles van Houten. Gilles, even storen. Ja. Gilles van Houten, een lastig begin van de dag en uiteindelijk toch een mooie afsluiting met een podium hier.
Ja, we hadden vanmorgen wat issues met de sensor van het gaspedaal. Dus die deed een beetje raar. Dus dat was vanmorgen achteraan beginnen eigenlijk en rustig naar voren rijden. En gelukkig nu vanmiddag geen last van datzelfde probleem gehad. Redelijk goede start, kon gelijk aansluiten en op een gegeven moment ook iemand pakken. En daarna nog een beetje geluk gehad dat volgens mij iemand voor mij uitviel. Dus ja, wel blij om hier podium te rijden eigenlijk. Ja.
Had jij verwacht dat die Radical het jullie met de BMW zo lastig zou maken?
Ja, op het rechte stuk zijn wij een stuk sneller. Maar in de bocht is hij gewoon sneller en met aanremmen is hij ook net iets sneller. Dus op een gegeven moment moet je ook kijken van weet je, hij kwam dichterbij en ik denk nou hij zit toch in een andere klasse. Ik kan hem beter voorbij laten dan dat ik zwaar in de verdediging ga. Want dan heb je alleen maar kans dat je er zelf veel tijd mee verliest of eraf gaat. Dus.
En nu mooi podium, dus tevreden?
Ja, zeker tevreden. Ja. Na vanmorgen is het een hele mooie opsteker.
Hartstikke goed. Dan morgen natuurlijk de lange race met pitstop en dat soort dingen. Wordt weer een heel ander verhaal. Hè?
Ja, wordt weer een heel ander verhaal. Dus ik weet ook niet wat de omstandigheden morgen zullen zijn qua weer. Maar als het lijkt op vanmiddag, dan teken ik ervoor.
Heel goed, dankjewel.
Thank you to Rene. Great to hear from the drivers down on the podium. You see the historics getting ready to come out to the left of screen, and that's a great feature of these Supercar Challenge weekends. You get down to see one because not only do you get to see the sports cars, you get to see those historic cars, which are great to see. Well, it's a shame we have to stop the live stream. Highlights for you then. It was a very quick start in the Orange Radical from Van Dijk, who was looking to get by Maya, who was really struggling. When you look back at it, speed down to that first corner, losing 50 horsepower, and would eventually retire the car. This was Barton versus Birdsall down to turn 3. Barton a bit of a wiggle on the exit there, costing momentum and time to the leader. As ever, there were great fights throughout all the categories. Good to see Cor Oyser was having a good one there. Would go on to finish third in GTs, but this is the moment Van Dijk would go all the way around the outside and be shown politely to the gravel, and would then come back through at turn 9 to take that position before heading after the likes of Barton. We would see both Meyer and Birdsall retire from the race, which eventually left Barton in the lead before he lost it to the hard-charging Radical. Barry Van Elk as part of a very good fight for the lower order of the top 10 overall and the podium places in Super Sport Plus. It raged on all the way throughout. This was Dennis de Boers coming through the field as well, but would later drop back. And Mitchell van Dijk, you can see, picking his way through traffic, did so nicely. The green Mercedes, Daf Steenches did not have the best of days, spun in the first race and eventually found the escape road in the second race as well. That's where it all went downhill for Marlon Birdsell. Clutch issue forced him into pit lane. And here we can see the green Mercedes, as I said earlier, it was almost like he did it on purpose, went straight on and into the escape road. Daf Steenches will be hoping for better things tomorrow. But someone who did have a very good day was Mitchell van Dijk. Alan Bird getting them into the top 5 overall earlier, and now they come across to take the win in sprint race 2. Harry Barton in second to the right of screen, doing a fantastic job to score the most points, I believe, in terms of the championship for today. So Harry Barton just getting a heads up there over Birdsell and Meyer. Okay, let's get ready to do the podium for you then. Here we can see Mitchell van Dijk coming out onto the podium. What a great performance by the Radical. You can see the celebrations at the end from him and the team as well. Harry Barton, he'll see this as a win, I think. I know he didn't take the checkered flag first, but in terms of GTs, he was the overall winner. But I think the bigger win was the fact that Dan Meyer and Marlon Birdsell did not finish, so did not score any points. Gilles van Houten doing a great job out there as well for our overall podium. You can see the top drivers from the GT category all making their way out to Korthuizen as well. Well done to him on the third step of the podium. Gilles van Houten there as well, and then sharing the top step we've got Barton and Mitchell van Dijk, as Barton was our GT winner, which is the top category in this class. So 4 drivers on the podium for that reason. We had a Radical driver, the sole Radical, Mitchell van Dijk, take the win, but Barton, as I said, I think we'll see that one as a win, not in terms of the fact he's on the top step, but in terms of the advantage he's now been given over his competitors as well. And like he said, it's the longer race tomorrow, which and the rest of the drivers, I'm sure, are looking to get their teeth into. 60-minute race tomorrow, some pit stops involved as well. Race 3 is going to be very good, but before that, we do have to set the grid for it. Qualifying 3 will be at 1:30 local time here in Zandvoort, and then it will be Supercar Challenge Race 3 coming up at 5:10. Well, that is all for the coverage of Supercar Challenge here today. We have Mazda MX-5s a bit later. We'll see you tomorrow.